title of this video is Plan With Me, and that's exactly what we're going to do. It's Sunday night, June 14th, and I am sitting here in my dining room wearing my very chic Four Seasons Total Landscaping t-shirt with Gritty on a riding lawnmower, which is how you know this is real. I am not dressing up for YouTube. I don't even have makeup on. I am just in my dining room about to embark on my favorite Sunday night ritual, which is getting ready for the week ahead by putting all of the goals and thoughts I have down on my pen and ink, down in pen and ink on my planner, and drinking a mug of tea. It's really just a wonderful way to set myself up for a great week. But just as a heads up, the past 2 weeks I have not actually done this. Life has just gotten in the way, and so I am proud though that those are the only 2 weeks I have skipped all year up until that point, all of 2026. But I want to keep my streak alive or restart it. And what better time than right in the smack dab in the middle of the year. So I'm considering this a hard reset of my planning ritual. And so I'd love for you to come along on the ride with me, keep me honest, and I'll show you exactly how I set my week up for, knock on wood, creative success.
So the first thing I do is I fill out at the top of this planner. There's a little calendar here. And, the first thing I do is move those pens because I'm left-handed and it's a pain in the ass to try to write with them right under my arm. But I fill out the calendar with the dates so that when I look back and there's a record, I can kind of see what I've done, and also because I will fill out that calendar section with appointments and things, see what I had to do that week. Date goes at the top. And now I'm ready for business. First thing I do is I grab my blue pen. I have 4 colors that I will use in these top boxes: blue, green, yellow, gold today, and purple. And these all correspond to the 4 themes that I set for myself at the beginning of the year. And these themes all kind of fall under the goal that I have for myself, this overarching goal for myself for this year, which is live like a millionaire. Now, this doesn't mean live like I have $1 million, because I don't. And it doesn't mean spend outside my means or buy really expensive things. What it means is that if I were a millionaire, I believe that I would have everything I needed and would be grateful for it, and I would treat it well. And so I want to treat myself and my things well, and like I have enough, and revel in the abundance, which is my first word, that I have around me. So I'm going to get back to that, but I also want to explain I have a pink category, which is other stuff, which is anything that doesn't fit within my abundance, career, community, or exploration themes. And then down here I have this daily tracker, which I love in this planner. Gives you a place to put anything that you do on a daily basis so that you can check it off every day, as opposed to like making a tally mark to make sure for me, I say worked out 5 times or did yoga every day, because I am desperately trying to complete my year-long yoga streak. I keep forgetting it when I go out of town for Thanksgiving. It is maddening. Literally 3 years in a row. I forgot to do cat-cow for a minute and a half before going to bed when I fly into St. Louis for Thanksgiving. Regardless, I also do affirmations every night. I try to write a poem every night, and I do networking every day. But back to these themes. So abundance is really directly tied to this live like a millionaire thing, in that I want to appreciate all of the things that I already have and treat them well, and make sure that I have what I need and use. So a big part of abundance is going through every part of my house, cleaning it, deciding if there's anything I want to donate, give away, throw away, or Marie Kondoing it if you want to go back to the 2010s. This is ridiculous. My green neon pen is amazing, but it does not necessarily do the best at writing. So sometimes I have to open it up. There's a little hole at the bottom of the cartridge. You blow through it. It breaks up the air bubbles and allows you to actually get the ink out without having to like bore a hole into some paper like scribbling. So the green pen is for career, and it's also for money, because it signifies everything that I want to build as a screenwriter, as a filmmaker, all of the scripts I want to write, the movies I want to make, and how this fits into the Live Like a Millionaire. Well, if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't be worrying about, oh, do I have the time and the money and the to make... No. I would be writing what I wanted to write, making what I wanted to make, and really committing to it. And so that is where green fits in for me. And then sometimes that green pen does not work again, and so I use a hard surface to sort of get it going, while also blowing on the cartridge and scribbling a little bit while I'm blowing. It's a whole thing. I hope that is a helpful tip for anybody, because I love my Pilot G2 pen. And then community. If I was a millionaire, I feel like my house would be nice enough that I'd want to have people over and have dinner parties and have the space and the time to really forge great relationships, which is silly because I can forge great relationships right now. So community is all about connecting with friends, connecting with family, reconnecting with old friends or old colleagues. It's networking. It's showing up here on YouTube and on my Substack to build an audience and a connection with people who I don't even know yet. It's finding community and Jewish joy within Shabbat, within going to temple, within going to events for holidays and festivals. So that's all in community. It's a very busy and joyful category. And finally, purple, exploration. Exploration is all about the abundance of information, of being excited about exploring new places. Like, my goal is to go to a new museum every month, which I've accomplished so far. And to try a new recipe from a cookbook I already have every month. Again, abundance, appreciating what I have, living like I have everything I need. And Los Angeles has an amazing coffee culture, and I have created a spreadsheet of over 100 coffee shops that are based in Los Angeles, locally owned and operated, and I want to visit them all. Actually, my Substack article for next week is about a really cute coffee shop called The Ugly Mug in Burbank, and it'll be my second in my coffee shop diary series. The first one was Alfred, which is a Los Angeles mainstay. It kind of had to. So what I'm doing here is I'm going back to previous weeks, and I am putting all of my holdover tasks, things I still need to accomplish, into my lists so that I know how much space and room I have to add to what I need to do. Or maybe I just need to get this stuff done before I can move on to the next things. Either way, this is step one in planning. Getting everything transferred over so I can start figuring out what else I can do and want to do in earnest. All right, then I stopped my camera briefly to take some thumbnail photos, which is why you have the change of angle right there. And now that I have my holdover tasks done, I will add in all of my things that have to be done at certain times during the week that are day sensitive. So my daughter's dentist appointment on Tuesday. I have to get my pages to my writing group by Wednesday afternoon. My day job I don't have work on Friday because it's Juneteenth, and I have writing group on Saturday. So it's a pretty light week in terms of time-sensitive obligations, meaning things I have to do on a specific day at a certain time. But because my daughter is home from school for a few weeks before going off to camp, not going off to camp, we're sending her to a day camp because she's going to be 3. My days will be very full because I'll be taking care of her a lot of the time. And also doing my day job. So, light calendar, full schedule. And while I'm thinking about what I want to add to this list. I just want to tell, like, this planner is, if you like it, it's called the Dashboard. It's by Ink+Volt. This video is not sponsored, but I would love for it to be because I love their planners, and it enables me to lay out all of my goals and all of my categories right out on one page, so that when I finally get to sit at my desk, because honestly I spend very little time at my desk because I have so many other things to do, like a day job or school runs or errands, but when I am at my desk, I'm able to see instantly what I need to do, what I want to do. And I also kind of treat my to-do list, especially in the career section, as a future planner. So I'm adding, or I just added, this thing called the worst date ever. It's a pitch that I need to write for an exec friend who I had coffee with a few weeks back. She asked for pitches in a certain area. I thought that this idea I had that I've tried to write before, it just never really stuck, would be a great pitch for her for this new space. It'll be a slight tweak that I think could really make this idea sing. So I have to write that pitch sometime soon, but I don't know if I'll get to it this week. As you can see, I'm adding a lot of things. I have Shabbat on Friday night, obviously, because it's always Shabbat, but then maybe going to my in-laws on Saturday, and spending time with my nieces and nephew, and our daughter playing with her cousins, obviously. But having this worst date ever pitch on my list will remind me to do it. And if I say need a break from my drafting anatomy of a love song or writing the treatment, just need to step away from that universe for a bit, I instantly have something that I can do, as opposed to sitting at my computer thinking about what to do and ultimately playing too many crossword puzzles on the New York Times app. And now that I've gotten all of my dreaming done, which is kind of what I'm doing with filling out my list of goals for the week, I get into the other stuff. I transfer over the photos that I need to share that I haven't shared yet. My daughter's dentist appointment I add. And then I think about what else is going to come up this week that's going to get in my way. And I take a sip of my tea, because that's a heavy thought sometimes. So I have flowers that I want to plant outside. I've started growing them from little seeds, and they actually sprouted. I thought I had a black thumb, but I don't. And we have a planter box outside, so that's something I'm going to add to that list, as well as potentially starting an herb garden in that planter box. I'm really having actually sprouted flowers gives me the confidence to maybe start growing things in this planter box we have in our backyard that I haven't for years, ever. And now this part is something I wasn't necessarily intending on sharing with you all, but it is a part of my planning. You see that I just wrote crowdfunding in black right there, and I am prepping a crowdfunding campaign. There'll be more details later, but this is a separate part of my planner, and this last sixth list is one that sometimes just goes blank. But I have this campaign coming up. I have the tiers drafted, and I want to get a draft of this campaign turned into Seed and Spark, so that they can give me some notes on it and it can be perfected before we launch in August. Again, more on that later, and not necessarily a call to action right now, but I am excited to share this film with you all that I'm going to be crowdfunding for. So one thing that this dashboard has that I love, but is honestly it's not enough for me, is this section up the top that says focus areas with top priorities, and it gives you 3 boxes to fill in what are the 3 things you definitely want to accomplish this week. The want would be finish drafting Anatomy of a Love Song, all of my networking and follow-up, and getting this YouTube video and my Substack articles published. But that ignores the fact that my daughter has a dentist appointment, so that has to be a top priority. It also leaves out the fact that I want to finish purging my office and cleaning it, getting a photo wall set up in the dining room that I have all the pictures ready for. there's just so much that I want to do that instead of using that type priorities, I write do this week in the notes space, and then I circle all of the tasks that I would ideally like to have completed. And this week, it's most of them. Sometimes it's just, all right, I need to get this treatment done. I need to finish this follow-up and make sure my YouTube and Substack are done. Plus, I have to pick up some medicine and go to the grocery store. But this week, it's basically everything. It's time to fill out my favorite part, which is my weekly theme. There's a place at the top that says, this week will be blank because blank. And now that I've filled out my planner, I've transferred all my holdover tasks, I've added the things I hope to add to my done column at some point. I've added my daily tracking initiatives. Now it's time to figure out what this week is going to be like. I know it's going to be overwhelming because I said I added treat or artist date to my other stuff column. But I don't want to stress myself out, although some weeks it is going to be overwhelming. But I also don't want to say it's going to be easy because look at this, it's not easy. I like to know that I'm telling myself the truth. I don't believe that honesty means negativity. And I don't believe that it means like being real in the sense of early 2000s reality shows. But best week ever is not going to be in the cards every week. And easy, as much as I wish that I could manifest ease by saying my week is going to be easy, that doesn't exist. At least not in my world right now. So I try to think of a non-toxic positive way to spin these words. Something realistic that I can fall back on. A reminder that if it is hard, yeah, I knew it already. And I can take care of myself and I can hold myself in that. Full. Every column is full. The circles are overwhelmingly a large part of these columns. And it's full because I'm trying to get back in my habits. Setting the bar high helps kickstart me into doing what needs to be done in order to reach these dreams, in order to not just live like a millionaire, but hopefully become a millionaire. But that's not the point. The point is that I'm going to be reaching my dreams, and this is my space to do that dreaming.
There we have it. That is my plan for the week. It is, as you can see, very full, and that's even the word of the week I chose, because I have a lot that I want to accomplish and a lot that feels time sensitive and important to finish this week. Now, how much I actually finish, well, that's yet to be seen. And honestly, a lot of the tension in my creative life and my personal life comes from the fact that I can't necessarily do everything that I want to do all in 1 week. And if you want to hear more about that, I have a Substack article that I wrote all about how all of that pink other stuff gets in the way of all of the circled things up at the top. And I will link to that in the description and also in the pinned comment below. But please comment here, tell me how you plan for the week, what you took away from this, what you liked, what you didn't like, and how you're going to reset yourself for the second half of 2026. Can't wait to hear all about it, and let's go make some magic, y'all. Bye.